Hello, everybody, and we are back. This is Web3 Magic Podcast. I'm BFG or Pete, and I am here today with another lovely female guest. Today, it's Anjali from Collab.Land. And if you've done anything in NFTs, you know Collab.Land for sure. And I am pretty sure at least one of your wallets is connected to them. So we will hear all about the journey and even more. Anjali, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and chat.
So let's jump into it. The first question always is, how did you get to crypto? Was it like a long journey, short journey? What was it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think my journey to what I do in crypto right now, definitely has very far roots. I started in like online digital communities before there was such thing as the internet. So even as a teenager, I would be on my modem and dialing up to what they called BBSs, which were bulletin board service. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah, I remember those.
I think we're around the same age, so you'll remember some of the things I'm talking about. And so started with that and like just chatting with people online and then having like IRL. We didn't call it IRL then because there was no really concept of online yet. But meeting up. We'd have meetups all the time at Shakey's in Venice. So it was in Los Angeles. I grew up in Los Angeles. And so as a teenager, my best friend from high school and I, Brandy, we used to dial up. And I don't know if anyone knew we were in high school, but we would like get into these groups and talk to all these people. And then we would just show up at these meetups and be the youngest girls in the group and meeting all these types of different people. And so that was kind of my first like relationship with online community. And then since then, I've been always involved with online communities. So my background, I'm a lawyer by education. I've also been an adjunct professor. My first job out of college was at an internet startup, teaching people how to search on the internet. So this is years before Google. I know. Okay. So I worked at a company called Ink2Me, and we had a product called Hotbot. I know it sounds ridiculous. And I remember in the UK, I guess it means bottom or something. So people would laugh at us. But yeah, we had an internet search engine called Ink2Me. Our product was called Hotbot, and it was search years before Google knew about search. And so my job was like quality assurance and customer service. And a lot of it was just like teaching people how to use search terms and like, how do you get what you want off the internet? And this is 1996. So there isn't a lot of information on the internet, but even the little bit that was there, people wanted to access. And so that was like my first job, like working in like what we call Web 1 now, but it was really just the internet then. Like, I don't even know if we called it, I guess World Wide Web, we called it that sometimes, but I don't think anybody at my company did. So I worked at an internet startup, and then I went to law school, and then my life after that, I wasn't involved with online communities for the years that I was practicing, but then, I started researching, my husband and I started researching adoption. And so we're like, oh, this is something that I might want to do. Let me see if I can meet other people online who are either adopted people or if they're adoptive parents. And let me try to gather some information. So really years before our first daughter arrived, she's 19 now, but years before our first daughter arrived, I started getting involved with adoption communities, like meeting kids. Like it was so fun because I was like an adult. This was on LiveJournal, but I was meeting teenagers, like adopted teenagers. And I was asking them, like, what is your experience like? What are your parents doing that's right? What are they doing that's ruining everything? Like, what are you happy about? What are you sad about? Like, tell me about your life. And like, do I even want to do this? Because that relationship is so complex. And I just wasn't, you just don't know if it's for you, and you want to do right by everyone in the relationships, right? Including your children, future children at that point. So, and some of those girls that I met back then are still in my life, and they have families and children and are like teachers and doctors. And it's so fun. It's like an opportunity to kind of see the future a little bit, and they still care about me. And I have 2 adopted children. And so it's like very invested in my life. And that happened because of online communities. So my relationship to the internet, online communities started very early. that really informs who I am in this position doing crypto communities. So I come to crypto communities not from a financial side or even the engineering side of it, but I come from it like we as humans get to find a way to make communities a whole new way. Like one of the things that really inspired me from the very, very beginning is like Bored Ape. And I know Bored Ape, whatever, people say all different things, but I will tell you, they found Collabland. And before Bored Ape, there were some other NFT communities using us, but not as a membership token. And so when Bored Ape started using Collabland as a membership token, I was like, what is happening? Because you had people that were like taxi drivers in Singapore, and you were having people that were like VCs or CEOs that are from Silicon Valley, all in the Bored Ape server together and connecting over the fact that they had a Bored Ape. Like the other stuff fell away, right? Like their educational background or their cultural background or what country they're from or what religion they have or what their other social status is. Like none of that mattered. And now people will be able to connect over this digital asset that is viewable to everybody, right? And so from my, I guess, evolution of seeing online communities, digital communities evolve, like this felt like being on the ground floor of something fucking amazing. So that's
Fucking
how
amazing. Okay.
that's how I got into this space specifically in terms of what I do now. Crypto itself, my husband and I are co-founders of Collab.Land, of Abridged. This is his third pivot. So this is also his fourth startup, but he was doing this company, Abridged, and he had other co-founders. And then you know, through the years, this company started in 2018. Through the years, people do other projects, and especially pre-funding, it's very difficult for everyone to stay on the same path. And so his other co-founders fell away. And so then there was an opportunity because he had come up with this idea for token gated chats. And so originally the idea of Collabland was, it was a DAO tool. He comes from the DAO world. He co-wrote the white paper for Moloch DAO and was one of the founding members of Metacartel, and is just, that's where he got very, very excited and animated about crypto. He's a developer. However, it was really the DAO aspect and the coordination, like what he calls like removing coordination costs or, you know, lowering coordination costs. Like that is very exciting for him. However, I had a different idea for Collabland. So he had an idea to like build up the DAO stack and continue to build more tools and continue to be a power tool for DAOs. And for me, I was like, whoa. Like, look what's happening with Bored Ape. Like, this is not just about DAOs. This is about creating a new way for people to come together on the internet. Like, trolls, and, you know, from my experience from before, like, trolls are a really big problem. Like you do so much troll management as a admin or a mod of a community, and you don't know who's who. You don't know who's who. But with this, it's like you can see what token they have. Collabland's verifying what token they have. You know who they are. At least you know what they care about. And you know what they're associating themselves with. And so you can say to them like, oh, you own 100 Bored Apes? Okay, let's have a meeting together. Or you could say, wait, you're not even in the holder chat. Like you don't have any Bored Ape. Okay, well then take your criticisms of this and, you know, it's not even the mods or the admins that have to do it. Now you have like the individual members that say like, look, we're here to try to do something. Like we're trying to build a community here. We're about our vibes here for our membership. So if you're here and you're not looking to help us with that, then it just like turned into group moderation. There's so many interesting things that come out of crypto communities. However, that was kind of my my little thumbprint on this. Like, let's, instead of building up the DAO stack, why don't we like expand to invite more NFT communities to join us? And why don't we go over all the chains? Because he was very much, prior to this, and now he is not, he's very much a multi-chain world maxi now, but he was an ETH maxi for a very, very long time. And I don't think that's unusual for developers who came to blockchain early, because Bitcoin was the only real experience before, and you couldn't really, there was no builder community. Now there is. There's so much going on over there. Stacks, Lightning, Runes, Ordinals. They've got a whole bunch of stuff. There's DeFi over there. There's plenty of stuff happening on Ordinals now, on Bitcoin now. However, at that point, it was just buy and hodl, right? That's it.
Right.
It's hodl.
Buy
That's
pizza.
all you do. Or buy pizza, right? Although, we give him homage to say to him, like, thank you, showing a real world use of Bitcoin was exciting. But so Ethereum, he was a bit of an Ethereum maxi. So I was more like, why don't we expand to other chains? Like, why don't we have different types of NFT tokens? Like, you started with 721, then you moved to 1155, and now there's so many other different types of NFT tokens. And so that was kind of like, I was most excited about that. And it's been great. Like, definitely there's people building DAO tooling. Like, that's happened.
Sure.
And so it's not like we didn't do that, so no one did it. Like, people did do it, and DAOs, have flourished and then had their issues here and there. Nothing is perfect. But we're all made of people, and people aren't perfect. So
here and there.
That's just the way it goes.
Nice
we have
way
moments.
To say it. Okay. Yeah.
We have moments, but yeah, it's not always perfect. And anything made of people isn't going to be perfect. I mean, true for anything. But yeah, so that's kind of been my journey into
let me ask
doing this work.
Let me ask you a super simple question. So when have you done your first thing on chain? Was it Bitcoin? Was it ETH? Was it NFTs? Where did it
it's a really good question.
On chain?
That's a really good question. I don't know if it was my ENS name or if it was an NFT. And I don't even remember what my first real NFTs were. I think before I understood about membership or the PFP projects, like I had other NFTs before that. There were NFTs before the PFP projects, right? And so I did collect NFTs here and there, but they weren't like a membership token. My very first PFP, because I remember that one, it was a World of Women. And it was a World of Women that I thought looked most like me. Like, it was early enough that they were cheap enough that I could kind of like go through thousands of them and like find the one that had like brown skin and like hair that was similar to mine and gold jewelry. And it was a lot of fun. So I would say that, like, I'm a super NFT person. Maybe I had some USDC or ETH before that, probably, but it wasn't impactful for me. My most impactful first experiences that I was most passionate about were NFTs and collecting NFTs. Not even thinking about the artists and who was on the other end of it. More just like, ooh, I like art. I like collecting. Like, what a great way to collect things without adding clutter to my house. And I still get to enjoy this, the fun of curating my own collection without, just adding more stuff.
Nice. So it basically answers my question, which I popped into my head. Like, do you collect other stuff? So it's obviously yes.
Yeah, I do collect other stuff. I wish I didn't collect other stuff because I wanted my goal, like, to some days to be a nomad. So I don't want to be in a house full time. I don't want to have a bunch of stuff. Like, even living here in this house, we moved to a smaller place. And I have a storage unit now. It bothers me to no end that I have a storage unit.
Solved the problem.
But I wish, yeah. I wish all of my assets were online.
Yeah. Nice.
And when you have online assets, stuff is, but you still get that. So collectibles are like a $3 billion a year industry, maybe even more than that. Like, we like to collect. Like, sometimes, they say, oh, only women collect, or what women collect is different and less important than what men collect. There's so much judgment around collections. But on a very basic human level, like, human beings are collectors. I don't know where it comes from. There must be some DNA genetic reason for it, but we do collect. And so collecting NFTs, collecting assets online, even collecting meme coins, like, it's fun. I love it. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Basically, you are a collector. That's good to know. I'm not a collector. I started collecting only NFTs because it was something you don't have to carry around. And I moved around a lot. So I always hated it when you move from one apartment to another or country to country and the truck gets bigger, but nothing
Hate
really
it.
substantially changed. It's just there is more
Nope.
stuff.
Yep.
So NFTs did it for me. Okay, so you basically partially answered the question: how did you guys get to Collabland? So
Yeah, I can tell you
I
that really
backtrack a
quickly.
little bit. So when
Okay.
you started working on Collabland, when the idea
Yes.
came, were you
Yes.
like
So
full-time lawyer or?
Collabland. Yes. Oh, sorry. No, I was a lawyer. Gosh, I've had a big life, but yes, I was a lawyer for 5 years. I mean, I still have a inactive license, but and I'm a member of the bar. But no, I did that for 5 years, and then when we adopted our daughter, I thought I was still going to work, but she's autistic, and so I was like, well, I really think I need to dedicate my time to her. And I really wasn't so keen on the idea of having babysitters either because of the relationship that I was trying to nurture with my children that doesn't have a
Sure.
genetic component. So I decided I wasn't going to work anymore. I was just going to care for her and build our relationship. And then that turned into when adopting our son, because I was already at home and how wonderful. And then homeschooling my children. My daughter I homeschooled until 8th grade. So she was about 13 or 14 up until age 14. I homeschooled her,
Impressive.
and then she went to high school. And so, yeah, but that entire time I was an adoptive mom and a homeschooling mom, I was a part of online communities. The biggest group that I was a moderator for was a 60,000 person Facebook group. So I had been doing, I had been doing this type of work already, but
I
just not
see.
getting paid
Okay.
for it, which is a lot of what I talk about now. Like when I do talk in person to people, I talk about the opportunities in Web3 for full-time caregivers. Because the work that is required, the community work that's required in Web3, everyone's already doing it in Web2 and getting no money for it.
Right. Well,
So
are
bring
they
your
getting any money
community
in
buildings.
Web3?
Yes, they
Probably the
are
right
making money
question.
in Web3. Yes, they
Okay.
are making money in Web3. I mean,
Good.
that's the whole
Good
idea
to
of a
know.
DAO, right? Like you contribute and you participate and you can get compensated. And not only you're getting compensated, but you are able to build an online resume. Like reputation building is something that we take for granted in crypto. But in the other world, how do you build a reputation? Like I can say, I was out of work for like 12, 13 years, right? However, the person who hired me was my husband, and he knows what work I did. Like he saw me doing the work, so he knows what my skill set is. However, how would I have gotten a job? I put myself in the place of any caregiver, full-time caregiver. How do you break out from being a full-time caregiver where no one sees your work, even though it's incredibly challenging and thoughtful and problem solving and resourceful, and it is all of those things. It requires more of you than I would say some people's full-time jobs in the regular world, but there's no evidence of that work. And with DAOs and with crypto, like if you do the work, if you show up at the events, you can get a POAP at the very least. You can have people tip you. You can have evidence of when you joined a community. Like there's ways that you can prove where you were and what you were doing and what you're interested in. And in our particular interest in our industry, Web3, crypto, whatever, we value people's interest and curiosity. Like I'll tell you, just as a founder and someone that hires people, like if you're really curious about crypto, if you have just an insatiable appetite to learn about it, and you've been through it, you have historical data up here, like that means a lot to me. And so I think of stay-at-home parents as like, look, you're already doing this work for free. You could get paid. Yes, that's one way to get compensated. But even if you're not getting paid, you're building an online reputation. And that when you stop being a full-time caregiver and you want to get back into the workforce, like we're going to be here. Crypto's going to be here. We're going to make it to sound silly and cliche, but we are.
This is going to be the best soundbite, I'm sure. It's like, we're going to make it. We're going to be here. Everybody hopes.
We're going to be here. So if we're here, then we'll value that. Like, invest in us. Like, give us a shot, pretty much. And I love that, because even in our own hiring process, we've hired people that do not have traditional backgrounds at all, but they have an insatiable appetite for crypto. And being a part of Collabland, they have an insatiable sense of duty and service to community.
So you touched on a topic which I am pretty interested in, and I don't actually think we've solved it yet. And this is like the reputation. And what are your favorite reputation targeting projects? Because you are sort of
I don't
OG.
know. Honestly,
No?
I haven't seen or heard of anything that has been compelling for me, because the value of the project is only as good as how widely it's used.
Yeah,
so I haven't seen anything yet that people are trying to solve that part of, like, how do you get in front of everybody? Like, and that's the hard part. Like, I love all these projects. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, people are building all different types of things, but I'm like, okay, but I'm going to be using it. But if no one else is using it, then, like, it's not really verifying anything. Like, I need, like, what is really verifying is the blockchain. The blockchain is what verifies what we can do. And as much as we can get onto the blockchain will be better. And if we can come out with some way that, some standard language around that, I don't know, NFT is standard language. Everyone uses it. Like, if we can come up with something like that for reputation, we'd be in business.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I think I missed one important part, because my assumption is everybody actually knows Collab.Land, but it's definitely not true in my audience.
Yes.
So now give me the pitch of what Collab.Land is, what you guys do, for anybody who, doesn't know.
Yeah. I should have started with that during my introduction, so apologies. Collabland is a automated, tokenized community management service. So if you have a project, BFG podcast project, and BFG podcast puts out a token called the BFG token, and now you want everyone that bought that token to get to know each other, to join a group together, to organize now the BFG army. And it happens in every industry. When I just said army, it reminded me of BTS, how they called their fans the army. But you, BFG Pod, can have all the people, your truest fans, the people that are willing to give you their attention and money right now. You want to get them together so you can organize them. That is an incredibly powerful thing. Just hands down, that's an incredibly powerful thing. Now, within that community, you can say, if you own 50,000 BFG podcast tokens, you get different access. If you only own 10, you get this access. If you own 150, you get this access. Okay, if you minted on the first day, then you get this access. You're able to, like, organize and reward your community. So that way you're not just extracting from them and saying, hey, ha, 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 now I have these people and now I'm going to make more money off of them because they're fans of mine. You're saying, okay, I'm here for you and you're here for me. And that's kind of what makes this whole financial, social puzzle we're playing with in crypto so fun.
So is that how the name started?
Yeah, really it is. That's where collab is. It comes from collaboration. But if you want those people to come together, now I'm a member, I bought your NFT or I bought your token, whichever. Now I'm joining. I want to join your group. When I enter your group, if you have installed the Collab.Land bot, either on your Discord or your Telegram, then they will verify that person, me, Anjali, who's logging into Discord, that I own X wallet, 0x12345. Yep. I sign a message that says, I'm okay with you reading my public wallet address. It's a read-only permission. So all we know now is that this wallet address is connected to this person, Anjali. That's it. We don't have any access into the wallet. We don't have any other permissions. All we have is your public wallet address. And now we know that that Discord ID is associated with that wallet address. Then we read the public blockchain to see if this wallet address, 0x123, is connected with the token that the community is calling a membership token. What is the requirement to join this group? It must be some way, some asset online, NFT, fungible token, whatever. Anything that can be read online, right? Any asset online that can be viewable. That is what we're looking for. And if you have it, you get to come in. If you don't have it, you don't get to come in. And then, so that's the number one part of it. And then the second part of it is we do balance checks, like reoccurring balance checks. And so if you sell your token, if you got scammed out of your token, sadly, if you transfer your token to your best friend, if you no longer have that token, then you also get removed. So we are trying to maintain the integrity of the community as well.
Okay, nice. So I assume you guys started on Discord and Telegram is relatively new, or was it the other way around?
Nope, it's the opposite. That's right.
Okay,
so
nice.
We started Collab.Land in May of 2020, again as a DAO tool. And DAOs was a very new thing at that point. Like just 1 year ago was the Moloch DAO white paper. But communities had moved away from Slack. Like crypto was on Slack way back when, before it was on Telegram. And then Slack was very much not interested at that time in managing the scammers bot problem. Right? They're like, we're not going to like cater to you crypto people. And so then crypto moved to Telegram. And so, we were first on Telegram for a very long time, all of 2020. And so then, or just the very end of 2020, we moved to, Discord. And so, that was because more people on Telegram now were asking for more complexity. So it was a question of, okay, what do we do? And James, who's my co-founder and my husband, used to work with Jason Citron, who is the CTO or CEO and founder of Discord. And so then James said to Jason, like, can I bring my crypto bot to Discord? Or are you going to shoot me down? Like, are we cool with this? Like, can I do this? Pretty much. And Jason said yes. And so then we moved to Discord. And then when we moved to Discord, everyone came to Discord. So I think definitely part of the fault, the blame, like people get mad about Discord all the time. I love it, honestly. But to me, it just reminds me of my childhood in Usenets. But for everyone that doesn't like it, it's Collabland. Like we moved to Discord because we got permission from Jason, and then like crypto is there. And now everyone's been looking for like a Discord killer. How are we going to have a Web3 alternative to Discord? Like, how do we fix it? How do we change it? And that's great. If people can do it, I think it's wonderful. It just means that we've evolved enough or matured enough as an industry as people feel that they can have a sustainable Discord killer. Collabland's position is different. People should be everywhere they want to be, anywhere they want to be. And we're also very mindful of the fact that a lot of people's first experiences or second experiences are with Collabland. So being where not just crypto natives are, but being in a place and supporting and growing an environment that includes crypto natives and people brand freaking new to crypto is extremely important to me and to all of us.
So what are the like new places where you guys are looking at? Are there any like now, Discord killers or Telegram killers?
No, absolutely not. I think no, I mean, we want to be open. So if anyone wants to use Collabland, we have an API, you can. But as far as like, so that can happen permissionlessly, right? But with us specifically right now, we are focusing still on Discord and Telegram. There is no slow period in growth between Discord and Telegram. Like as many Discord killers out there are, no one's doing Telegram killer. At least I don't hear that in the popular chat. But
that's true.
Yeah, I'm not hearing that. But I will say there's still so much to go with Discord and Telegram. There's so much. There are people, I mean, there are communities coming constantly. Like July is not over yet, but we had about 250 new communities join like in July already. And so it's like, and then in January and February we had like a few thousand. So it's like really crazy how people are continuing to come. Yeah, we're at 54,000 communities right now. Like, with Discord and Telegram, like that's crazy. And we have, just to get into a little bit of data, but we have like 2,500 to 4,000 brand new wallets that have never connected to Collabland connect every single freaking day. Every day.
Impressive. Wow.
It's across 38 different blockchains, but most of it is still Ethereum and Solana, right? Base is too, but I'm just saying, like, it's mostly, when I say Ethereum, I mean EVM. It's mostly EVM and Solana. And so, Bitcoin, we got to a little bit late. I'm obsessed with the fact that they did it, but I learned about NFTs on Bitcoin at NFC Lisbon 2023. So I think it was like July 2023. Someone approached me. I had a booth and started talking to me about NFTs on Bitcoin. And I was like, okay, like it still felt so new. I wasn't hearing anything about it from everywhere else. There wasn't a community demand for NFTs on Bitcoin yet. And so we got to Bitcoin as like a later. Like it wasn't one of the first ones that we added on. And I spoke at a Bitcoin conference in October that same year. And that's when I was like, really like, okay,
you were
sold on it. And I was sold on. I was announcing the integration at the conference, but seeing everybody, meeting everybody, seeing the excitement around that, around what was going on over there was
I still
super
don't
exciting.
get it,
It's
but
great.
it's okay.
It's great. I will, people are people. A lot of people in Bitcoin now are from ETH.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you that they're from ETH because now they get to build. They just want to build. And now it's like, oh, now I can build on Bitcoin. Okay. And honestly, right? You have an opportunity there, maybe not so much now, but you have an opportunity to start fresh, like to be in on the ground floor at Bitcoin because it's a whole different set of investors, a whole different set of media, like a whole different ecosystem. And so you're able to take your knowledge and your learnings from ETH and really excel. So I don't fault anybody for moving in that direction because I think builders are going to build.
Oh, I wouldn't fault anybody. It just doesn't the things happening on Bitcoin don't really fit into my view world and where the Bitcoin fits. So it feels very futile to me. But you want to build,
and you're right.
You want to make some money. Totally fine with me.
Yeah, and it really is like you cannot watch everything. There's no way. You really have to pick a thesis, right? And then everything that falls outside of your thesis, you're like, there's no room. I don't want to learn a new thing. I'm not into that. Like I got my thing and it's really quite all consuming. I don't know. I'm probably not supposed to ask you questions, but do you do other things or are you like doing, because this is like all I do. I don't know. Do you do other, I used to do other things.
I do a lot of other things.
Oh, I'm jealous. I used to do a lot of other things. It's been years.
I'm not running a project with 54,000 communities connected to it. So it's a different story. But
I don't
wonderful
know.
story. I like it a lot. The number is impressive. I didn't even know we have so many communities in crypto. Honestly, it didn't feel like that in Brussels.
And because they're all so fragmented. Like, have you any idea how many communities there are on Tezos? Like, do you even think about Tezos communities or Bitcoin communities or Polygon communities? Or it's like it's so spread
Polygon
out.
Is big.
Like
that's true.
We cannot be Astar. It's like a Japanese blockchain,
right?
And we support them too. And there have so many communities that are going on in Japan and in the Asian area, like in Asia and Southeast Asia.
Nice.
Like we don't think about that, but they're there. True. And then South America and in Africa, like there's so many regions. And so not only across blockchains, but across like there's such a huge still cultural pockets, right? And so it's very difficult. And I feel like Collabland is in a really special spot because we can speak to, at least we can speak to community as we see it across all the chains. I can tell you that. Like I have that bird's eye view of what's happening in community. Like what chain, like, oh wait, what's happening? Like this chain is growing the most? this week? Like, wait, this like project is growing the most this week? Like, what? It's a really fun way to see, and you see it not only in your particular chain, but you see it across all the chains. So it's fun.
I see.
I would say that part is really fun. Anyway,
I can imagine.
yeah.
Should I ask which community is growing the most this week, or which chain?
Oh, well, I don't know, because tomorrow is our day. And so we always we have a all hands on Friday mornings. And then our data engineer comes in and he puts up these big reports and we're always like, ooh, that's so cool. It's always fun.
So you have to tell me tomorrow. Just ping me tomorrow. What was the biggest growing chain? I'll put it into show notes.
Okay.
It's cool.
I will tell you. Okay.
Nice. So what's next for Collabland? So you guys have been doing this for almost 4 years, maybe 5. So what's next? I mean,
yeah, that's been a really tough one and we've definitely stumbled around what to do because we want to serve community. That's really the goal of why James and I do this and why our team does this. But we need to be sustainable. And it's been a hard learning of like, we need to embrace the financial element of crypto. We have to. We cannot ignore the fact that there are many people who are here to make money, and we shouldn't shun them. Like, we should try to include them and find a way to use money and the financial reasons people come here and incorporate them with community. So, like, how do we somehow able to add value to our communities and make them richer by including a financial element, rather than saying, oh, a financial element is going to ruin everything. Like money is the root of all evil. Instead of thinking that the money is the root of all evil, what if we think, what are ways we can value add our communities or supercharge our communities with some sort of financial element? So that's been hard. And we've tried a few things. We've failed at a few things. In public, right, for everyone to see, like, this is probably the most raw, exposed way to live, because everybody in the world or like people who are watching or look you up, see like what you've done wrong and what you've done right. And it's all there, all your decisions. And what I like to say, all your childhood traumas are all there on display for everybody. So anyway, that's been a really interesting journey. But with what we're doing next is we're doing tipping. So now you're going to be able to do on-chain transactions within Collab.Land groups. I don't know if we're going to settle on the word tipping. I've been getting a lot of feedback lately saying tipping is not even something positive in Europe, in Asia, in South America, in Africa. Like, no one thinks of tipping as a positive thing. People think it's just evidence that you're not paying a fair wage to your employees. And so we're like, shoot, maybe we won't call it tipping. But what you can do is you can do an on-chain transaction. So if you and I are in a Discord server, we're in the BFG podcast server, and we're chatting with each other, or even if we're not chatting with each other, I can send you money. I can send you, we're starting with 4 chains, but I can send you one of these 4 chains. I don't want to give it all up because it's not coming out until August 8th. But what we're doing is that you can tip or give someone trade, share, whatever, some crypto with somebody else, just using your Discord username or Telegram ID. And now I'm feeling like, oh, I maybe shouldn't have talked about it because I'm going to do a press release. So I don't know when this is going to come out. I should have said something. Anyway, I didn't think of it.
Yeah, well.
Will it come out after August 8th?
After August 8th. There's a chance it's going to come out on August 8th, actually.
Okay, I'll take it. August 8th is great. If it's August 8th, then we can keep all of that in.
I am making a note that it shouldn't come out before August 8th. That's all good.
You know why? Because my PR company will literally just chew me a new one.
Yeah,
like, they're going to be so mad at me because they put out a press release and it's under embargo.
Right,
so,
right,
like,
it's
Tonin. I'm totally going to introduce you to them, by the way. I already showed them your podcast. And I said I was doing it. And they were like, oh, that's so cool. But I'm going to tell them, like, I guess we're not going to. You're just going to have to edit all this stuff out. Sorry.
Probably.
But for you personally, if you want more guests, like the guests that are serotonin clients are pretty, they care about what they're doing and what they're saying, and they usually have opinions. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but if you're looking for that, serotonin can like pitch you people.
That would be lovely. No, I have.
Do you want to do that?
Sure. I've read the book,
Okay.
and
Amanda Cassatt.
So I sort of like what they're doing, and that I would say that they are kind of selective. It's nice, They could be basically taking everybody's money and doing very little, especially during the bull runs with the background they have. It's nice to see that they're sort of normal.
They're a really good team. Yeah, I really, really like them. And
but I always hated this PR, process. It's like, give us the press release, we will send it to everybody. There is embargo, you can't talk about this. It's like, oh my God, I want to talk about this.
I know, me too. Like, I literally had a call with them yesterday, and they were telling me it's going to be on. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Anyway, we can get back to it. Do you have other questions, or are we done?
Well, definitely. It's like, so what are you looking forward to? This is going to be the last question because we are on 40 minutes and it's too long. I'm going to cut out
too long.
A couple of minutes.
You can cut all of it.
It will be hard because you talk a lot. Nobody said that, right? Ever. Nobody ever mentioned it. But the last question for today is...
I'm going to keep it really short. So short, you're going to be surprised.
Okay, let's see that.
Okay. It's a challenge.
What are you the most looking forward to in like second half of 2024? It can be from Collab.Land, it can be an event, it can be something totally different. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, my real honest answer, and we'll just go with that, which is I'm looking forward to the bull run really starting.
Okay. That's an honest answer. Nobody dared to say yet. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's hope there is going to be a bull run. Well, Anjali, thank you very much. The whole 30 minutes, something was a treat. And I'm pretty sure I'll see you on some conference very soon. And I'm looking forward to Collab.Land tipping. Whatever you guys are going to call it.
Thank you. Or whatever we call it. I don't know. If anyone hears this, tell me what you want me to name it. But no, this was great. I know we met in Brussels just a few weeks ago, and you were telling me about your podcast, and here we are. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.